Hello everyone, bringing you a relatively short video today looking at my involvement in a recent Vietnam War display at Lytham as part of the military history show there. I was there representing Australian infantry circa 1969 as part of a bigger display put on by No Slack, which is a UK-based Vietnam War living history group, and also the centrepiece really was the surviving, Vietnam-used surviving UH-1 Iroquois, or more commonly referred to as the Huey. There's also a Loach reconnaissance helicopter as well, and it was very, very interesting. As I say, my presence there was representing Australian troops, and quite a few people I spoke to didn't have any knowledge of Australian or New Zealand involvement in Vietnam, so that was good talking to them and telling them a bit about the history of Australia's involvement in country and New Zealand as well. So I felt quite accomplished from that point of view. And as I say, I just thought I'd do a quick run through of some of the footage I managed to get on the day. I didn't get much, as I generally don't at shows. It's often quite difficult. There's also a lot of wind noise because it's actually held right on the seafront at Lytham. So it was quite windy, and the microphone on my camera unfortunately does pick up the wind noise rather badly. So please put up with that. If you think it's something that's going to annoy you unduly, then perhaps don't watch this video. But otherwise, I do hope you enjoy.
So as part of the Vietnam display here at Lytham, as well as the Huey, there's also a Loach. You can see here, reconnaissance helicopter. These are both, see the minigun on the side there, these are both based out of Western, which is quite local. I'm hopefully going to get more involved with these going forward. They have an open day at the hangar where these are based, and hopefully be able to go and have a look around there and do some future displays with them. I believe both of these helicopters did serve in Vietnam, which was part of the reason they were bought, was the chap who bought them wanted aircraft, although they weren't in the best condition when he bought them. He wanted aircraft which had actually been out in country. So they have both served out in Vietnam. Hopefully this is nice and clear and focused here. If you wish to pause and read some of the information about this aircraft, you can do so. And this is in the back, which is rather cramped.
So these obviously your left and right steering order, yeah?
Pedals,
yeah. Tail
rotor at the back.
And what is that? Is that the
I'm going to change the pitch on the pedals so you get more or less bite from it. Same as the Huey principle.
Yeah.
This, cows get bigger, cows get smaller. Right. Left, right.
Right.
And this is power lever. So as you pull it up, you get more power.
Right.
Yeah, it's awful in the back, isn't it, Simon?
Yeah, it's pretty cramped in here, I'm not going to lie. It's
the guys like the doors off.
Yeah.
I mean, once the back doors off, you don't have them all off.
Yeah.
And here we have the Huey, as you can see, and this is again a veteran of the Vietnam War, and we'll have a look inside in a minute. I suppose I should call it UH-1 really, Huey. We'll have a look inside in a minute, and you can see that there's actually battle damage which has been repaired but highlighted so that you can see where this actually took hits during its service in Vietnam. So Doc, can I possibly climb inside and show people the battle damage on the floor? Thank you. Let's have a look in here. Up we go. So we've got the seats and things in here. In Vietnam, generally speaking, you would have the door gunners, and then it would just be a clear cabin in the back here. But we can see these various points on the floor here, which have been highlighted, are bullet holes which have been patched. If we move forward, we can see the bit here. You see around in there, and between there. Controls and stuff, I'm not sure how well the camera's going to do with this, but we'll try. There we go. Okay, so here we have Jeremy, who's with the No Slack Vietnam Reenacting Group, or Living History Group. And we're here at Lytham, and he's going to run through the bits and pieces that he has here. He's wearing as a relatively late war medic, US Army medic. So take it away, Jeremy.
Great. So to start off with, the majority of the kit that I'm wearing is what you would see being worn by standard infantry. So it was important for medics to blend in and look like your average soldier, not stand out too much. So to start off with the weapons I'm carrying, I have a sidearm holstered. Now, initially in the early war, medics would only be issued with a sidearm, but as the war progressed, they would be issued with long arms, i.e. an M16 or a shotgun to blend in better. And I'm carrying a small amount of ammunition for it, not much, because it's not really a medic's job to be on the front line shooting people. So the majority of my pouches are just packed full of bandages and other medical kit. And the majority of that medical kit is being kept in my M5 medical bag, which we can take a closer look at now.
That sounds good. Excellent.
Great. So in the early war, there was a list of required items that each medic had to carry in their M5 bag. But as it progressed, that list became sort of neglected and ignored, and each medic would tailor what went into their bags via what they thought was most necessary and important. So this bag is as it left Vietnam, and it's mainly composed of bandages, gauze and surgical dressing. So there's a box here of different bandages, they're all just packed up and sealed. Different bits of gauze and sponges, surgical dressings, everything as it left the country. More curious bits are rubber gloves for examining patients, all sealed up. And then sort of more everyday items that you might need in the field, not for, specific medical purposes, but things like insecticide powder, sunburn preventative cream, stuff that you might just need every day out on the field. So this bag contains almost everything that I mentioned on that specific list before. Two of the more curious items are ammonia smelling salts for waking people up, I guess, when they're unconscious, and this eye shield, which is another rare piece. If you use, if somebody has an injury to the eye, you would put pad over their eye and put that on top. Just an interesting piece that you don't see too many of. The last and probably most rare and interesting pieces in this M5 bag are these tracheotomy tubes of all different sizes. You didn't see these in many M5 bags, a lot of them were just thrown out, not the sort of thing that was used that often. But yeah, everything else in here is just more bandages, more surgical dressings. That's what this bag is composed of, and that is the M5 bag.
Thank you very much indeed for that. That's brilliant, thank you.
Okay, so here we are at Lytham. I've been part of No Slack's display here, Vietnam Reenacting Group in the UK. So we've got the Huey behind me here, which I'll put links to the group who are involved with this. It's thankfully very local to me, so they've flown it in here, as they have done with the Loach as well. Obviously I'm now using it as a bit of a backdrop. I'm going to run through the bits and pieces I've been wearing, obviously representing Australian infantry in Vietnam circa 1969, so relatively late war, because that's what the US reenactors are doing here this weekend. So starting off with the top, as we normally do, we have a British-made jungle hat. Australian-made hats, of course, very much in use by this point, but you still see British ones around. We then have the Australian green uniform consisting of trousers and shirt. This isn't the pixie greens, the twiggy greens, not the later type. This is the type that had been in use since the 1950s. And at the bottom there we have Australian GP combat boots. These are fairly modern, but they're basically the same as those worn in Vietnam. There are some detail differences. The web equipment consists of Australian modified M1956 with some US made components, or at least one US made component. Obviously have the modified Australian ammunition pouches at the front, Australian suspenders and Australian belt. On the right hip here we have a US M1956 canteen. This is the amended one you'll have seen in the Mannequin of the Month video I did recently, which has the Australian, obviously A&T added to the US to make Australian rather than US. And then we have a whole selection of Australian-made canteen covers around the back there, obviously hanging from their hanger hooks, which the Australians reintroduced to the design
after the US had deleted it. And then round on the left hip here we have the bayonet for the rifle, which is in an Australian modified 1937 pattern frog, which attaches to the belt using hanger hooks, as you can see there. So that's the basic setup I have here. I also have the pack with me, but I'm not wearing that right now. But yes, so basically just been involved with the Vietnam display here this weekend, and I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully get a bit more involved in this stuff and make more people aware of Australia and New Zealand's involvement in Vietnam at displays at the hangar for this thing going forward. So hopefully that will go well, and there'll be videos from those as well, fingers crossed.
There we are, that was a quick run through the display at Lytham. I didn't get a chance to really go around the show and film anything else. It's primarily a 40s event. I think it's still titled Lytham 40s. It's a little bit odd to have the Vietnam display there, but having the Huey so local and able to fly in onto the green, it just makes sense for them to have that as part of the display. I certainly enjoyed it, as I say. I felt quite accomplished because I managed to talk to a lot of people who had no idea of Australia or New Zealand's involvement in the war. So quite a few people went away with a bit more knowledge in their heads, which is always good. I do hope you found the video interesting. As I always say, if you have and you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it when people do. There's also the little bell next to the subscribe button, which of course is the notification button, which will notify you when I upload future videos. There's also a Facebook and an Instagram page where I tend to post up photographs from reenacting events and also of the collection and sneak peeks of upcoming videos. So it's a good place to keep up with what's going on there as well. Links to both of those in the description, as I say. But that's everything I wanted to cover in this video. So until next time, bye for now.